Contemporary Ideologies. Introduction. In the ever-evolving landscape of contemporary ideologies, a tapestry of ideas, movements, and philosophies has emerged, challenging established beliefs, norms, and values. These ideologies span a wide spectrum, from the questioning of traditional Catholicism in Modernism Heresy to the redefinition of societal norms in the sexual revolution. They include the staunch embrace of scientific knowledge in Scientism, the existential crisis posed by Nietzschean Nihilism, and the relativism of postmodernism. Additionally, ideologies like Wokeism, Secularism, and gender ideology reflect the ongoing societal debates surrounding issues of justice, governance, and identity. This exploration of contemporary ideologies forms a mosaic of perspectives that shape our world today. In this intellectual journey, we delve into each ideology to understand its roots, implications, and impact on our global society. Furthermore, we reflect upon the Christian apostolate as an ever-relevant response to these ideological currents, emphasizing the call for engagement, understanding, and sharing the message of Christ in an ever-changing world. Modernism Heresy. Modernism was a movement in the Catholic Church that questioned old beliefs and how we can know the truth. It came from individualism, which began with Martin Luther and made people think about different ways to understand the Bible and challenge authority. Modernism Heresy was a big challenge to the Catholic Church in the late 1800s and early 1900s. It wanted to change traditional Catholic beliefs using ideas from the 1800s, and it made people doubt if we can really know the truth. This idea was influenced by individualism, the belief that each person is important in society. This started with Martin Luther and the Protestant Reformation, which said that the Bible is the only source of Christian belief. This made people wonder if there is only one right way to understand the Bible or many ways, leading to new ideas and challenges to authority. This period of theological upheaval emerged with the dawn of the modern world and brought about radical changes in how people viewed objective reality, the meaning of history, institutions, and even the nature of the human person. In the 19th century, Enlightenment and modern philosophies began to influence Catholic theology, laying the foundations for what became known as the heresy of modernism. It was a time of great confusion and complication within the Church, marked by the application of historical and critical methods to religious texts, particularly the Bible. Historicism, which held that social and cultural phenomena were determined by history, influenced scholars who argued that human understanding of God had evolved over time. They applied historical criticism to the Bible, leading to a reinterpretation of the scriptural texts that diverged from traditional Catholic teachings. Pope St. Pius X, in his encyclical Pascendi Dominici Gregis, 1907, condemned modernism and its core principles. The modernists asserted that human reason was limited to the observable world, denying the possibility of knowing God through reason. They believed that religious truth was subjective and based on personal experiences rather than divine revelation. According to modernism, divine revelation was seen as a fluid concept, constantly changing through the religious experiences of individuals and communities. Sacraments were reduced to human symbols, and Scripture was viewed as containing errors while attempting to express the mystery of God. This perspective shifted the focus from objective, unchanging religious truth to personal encounters and feelings. Despite the efforts of Pope St. Pius X and subsequent popes, modernism remains a part of contemporary theological discussions, making it a subject of ongoing relevance. In conclusion, the Modernism Heresy was a complex and controversial period in the history of the Catholic Church, marked by a re-evaluation of religious truth and the role of personal experience in the faith. It serves as a reminder of the ongoing challenges and debates within the Church and the importance of preserving traditional teachings while engaging with the modern world. The Sexual Revolution. The term sexual revolution describes the significant shift in Western society's views on sex, sexuality, and identity since the 1960s, particularly the LGBTQ+ movement. This revolution has origins in various factors. People started viewing themselves as autonomous individuals, able to shape their own sexual values. The advent of the contraceptive pill and antibiotics reduced the risks associated with non-monogamous relationships. LGBTQ+ movement. The LGBTQ+ movement challenged the traditional norms of monogamous heterosexual marriage, placing marginalized groups at the forefront. Additionally, in 1968, issued the encyclical, Humani Vitae, emphasizing the Catholic Church's stance on contraception. It stressed that contraception is not only morally wrong but would also lead to adverse consequences, including a decline in sexual morality, seen in rising divorce rates, abortions, out-of-wedlock pregnancies, and venereal diseases. The encyclical warned against making it easy for people to break moral laws, especially the youth who are vulnerable to temptation. This sexual revolution represents a major societal shift in attitudes towards sex and relationships, driven by philosophical, technological, and social factors, as well as notable religious perspectives like those presented in Humani Vitae. Scientism is the belief that the hard sciences, like chemistry, biology, physics, and astronomy, are the only real sources of knowledge and are far superior to other fields. It accepts ethics and religion but only as personal, subjective opinions. Scientism sees claims that ethical and religious ideas are as factual as science as intolerant. It values scientific knowledge above all else and considers it the model of truth and rationality. In terms of the Church's relationship with science, in 1987, the Pontifical Academy of Sciences organized a study week to honor the 300th anniversary of Newton's Philosophiae Naturalis Principia Mathematica. Following this, Pope St. John Paul II wrote a letter, but we need more information to continue this topic. Nihilism. Friedrich Nietzsche is known for nihilism, which says the world has no built-in meaning, and values are empty. In the past, Christianity gave life's purpose, but that faded with science. Nietzsche said God is dead, showing the loss of faith in Christian meaning, causing a meaning crisis. There are 4 kinds of nihilism: no morals, no universal truths, nature doesn't care, and life lacks meaning. Without God, truth and values are shaky, leading to perspectivism. Everyone has their truths, but no universal truth. Nietzsche suggests facing this world without objective truth by asserting your will to power, which can lead to conflicts. Today, ideological nihilism is driving violent online groups. Isolation in the pandemic pushed some to darker online spaces, encouraging disconnection and rebellion, sometimes leading to violence. It's a troubling part of modern nihilism. Postmodernism and relativism. Modernism once believed that through scientific progress, philosophical clarity, and political reform, we could achieve a utopian society. This era was marked by the myth of progress, the idea that continuous advancement would lead to a better world. However, the 20th century shattered this myth with the devastating world wars, the Holocaust, and the use of atomic bombs. Despite scientific and political advancements, utopia remained elusive and, in some ways, regressed. In response to these disillusionments, postmodernism emerged as a critical movement. Postmodernism challenges modernism's conclusions, particularly in the areas of knowledge, truth, meaning, and morality. It suggests that these concepts are culturally constructed and relative to individual cultures, lacking objective universality. Postmodernism also destabilizes the idea of a stable human nature, once thought to have a discernible structure. Modernism upheld the concept of a stable human nature, but postmodernism posits that human identity is a social construct shaped by various cultural influences. Additionally, postmodernism promotes moral relativism, claiming that morality is not given by religious traditions or divine sources but is constructed through human dialogue and choice. This leads to the belief in the primacy of the individual and the assertion of one's will to power in the absence of external moral absolutes. Postmodernists are highly sensitive to the dangers of making absolute claims about truth and morality, as they see the potential for oppression in such assertions. While finding truth is typically liberating, postmodernists approach this idea with caution. Pope Benedict XVI, in a 2010 interview, discussed the dictatorship of relativism and emphasized the importance of seeking the truth, contrasting the postmodernist perspective. Wokeism. Wokeism is about recognizing societal unfairness, especially related to race, sex, and gender. It has its roots in philosophers like Hegel and Marx, who talked about social change and economic injustice. Neo-Marxism from the Frankfurt School linked capitalism and authoritarianism to social problems. Tolerance meant not getting in the way of social justice. Today, wokeism categorizes people by their race, religion, and gender. Some groups are seen as disadvantaged due to cultural issues, while others are considered privileged. This system is central to woke ideology, which emphasizes awareness of societal injustice. Secularism. Secularism is a concept that advocates for the separation of government institutions from religious organizations. It aims to create a society where several key principles are upheld. No official state religion, there should be no designated state religion within a country. Government neutrality, the government should neither promote nor condemn any particular religion or religious viewpoint. Religious freedom, every individual should be free to believe and practice their chosen religion, or none at all. Non-discrimination, no one should face discrimination based on their faith or lack thereof. No religious influence on policy, religious organizations should not play a role in determining government policies. Government non-interference, the government should not dictate the precepts of any religious organization. Protection of religious minorities, the rights of religious minorities must be safeguarded. Equal treatment, regardless of their religious associations or faith, all members of society should be considered equal. There are variations within the secularist movement, with some adherents adopting a more aggressive stance. Aggressive secularism seeks to prevent any religion from imposing its values on others and advocates for strong separation between religion and public life. This perspective defends freedom of religious identity but opposes the imposition of religious values in state institutions or common law. Critics of secularism, particularly from religious institutions like the Catholic Church, argue that the core principle of secularism is at odds with their beliefs. They maintain that religious considerations are essential to individual and societal conduct and reject the idea that religion should be a private matter. Instead, they view religion as a social duty and emphasize the importance of religious teachings in guiding both individuals and societies toward a future life. In summary, secularism is a concept that advocates for the separation of government and religious institutions, ensuring religious freedom, non-discrimination, and government neutrality. While there are varying degrees of secularism, it aims to protect individual rights and prevent the imposition of religious values on society. Critics, particularly religious institutions, argue that secularism clashes with their core beliefs and the role of religion in guiding both individuals and society. Gender ideology. Gender confusion is a complex issue, with only a tiny percentage having a clear biological basis. Recently, the concept of gender dysphoria has gained attention due to societal factors like the LGBTQ+ movement, the internet, and social media. Some doctors even advocate gender transition procedures, including for minors. The Vatican issued a document in 2019 called Male and Female He Created Them, offering guidance on gender issues in education. It defines gender as the way differences between sexes are culturally experienced. It supports diverse cultural expressions of gender. However, the document criticizes gender ideology in two ways. Firstly, it separates gender entirely from biological sex, denying the underlying sex binary. Secondly, it views gender as solely based on an individual's subjective choice, not connected to their biological sex or how others perceive them. The document acknowledges that some people may experience a disconnect between their personal identity and their body's sex, but argues that our subjective experience doesn't determine our sex or gender due to the body-soul connection and the relationship between gender and sex in our shared human nature. Epilogue: The Christian Apostolate. The Christian vocation is a call to apostolate, as highlighted by the Second Vatican Council in 1965. The apostolate of lay people is essential and stems from their Christian calling. This duty has expanded in the modern world due to factors like a growing population, scientific progress, and closer relationships. Lay people must address new challenges and engage in expert study. Their Christian life and good deeds can inspire others to believe in God. However, apostolate goes beyond leading by example. It involves actively sharing the message of Christ, either with non-believers to guide them to faith or with the faithful to instruct and encourage them. Given the current challenges to religion, morality, and society, laymen are encouraged to defend Christian principles with intelligence and learning, according to the Church's teachings. Saint Josemaria emphasized the apostolic mission of all Christians, received in baptism, to fill the world with light. This apostolic zeal, rooted in prayer, can make the world holier and fulfill the Christian mission of saving souls. Every Christian is called to bring the good news of God's love to the world, becoming the salt and light, and spreading the message through real friendships and personal faith. In summary, the Christian vocation includes a call to apostolate, where lay people play a crucial role. They should live their faith, share it with others, and defend Christian principles in the face of contemporary challenges. This mission is inspired by prayer and the desire to make the world holier, as Saint Josemaria emphasized.